Hi guys, happy Monday. It's me. I just got home. It's midnight. I was playing hockey. So pardon my hot mess of appearance. Today is Monday, April 29th. It's almost the end of the month. Did I tell you guys about my April Fools? So I was flying to Chicago on Monday, April 1st. And the last time I flew to Chicago, I missed my flight. I always take the first flight out because it's the least expensive and it gives me the most time with my family. So last time I traveled to Chicago, it was a 6 a.m. flight. So I got myself out of bed at 3:45, called the cab, got to the airport by 4:30, went through security, and I don't know if you guys have ever used one of those neck pillows, but I was waiting for the plane to board and I put one on and I put my headphones in and I was listening to This American Life, my favorite talk show, and I fell asleep. And I was really upset because before I sat down and fell asleep, I had a conversation with the ticket agent who was doing the boarding. We had a conversation about going to Chicago. We had a conversation about changing my seat. I mean, we had a conversation. It was probably a 5-minute conversation. So I fall asleep and my eyes jolt open about 10 minutes after takeoff time. I didn't get on the flight. I totally missed it. The ticket agent was standing there. I was like, it left? I fell asleep? Why didn't you wake me up? You knew I was going to be on that flight. We talked at length about it. I know it's not your job to wake someone up to make them get on the plane. But, you're a human being. I'm a human being. You know I should probably be on that flight. I am right in front of you. I'm sleeping right in front of you. It wouldn't have killed you to be like, hey, hello? Do you want to get on that plane? So, that was in, last November, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't even know when that trip was, but that was a while ago. So I'm flying on April 1st, and again, it's the first flight out. It's a 4 o'clock leave time, get to the airport in time for a 6 o'clock flight. And I get to the airport, and my flight is delayed by about an hour. So I take advantage of the situation, and I text my mother after takeoff time. She has a copy of my itinerary, and said, I missed my flight. I sent it to my dad, too. They were not very amused. I was dying with laughter, but they didn't think it was funny because they knew it was all too real. But that's what makes the best April 1st, right? April Fool's jokes is when it's plausible. Anyways, April's almost over. That was my story. Hockey is really good. I love playing, but you guys, my back is messed up. It hurts so bad. It's fine skating because all the adrenaline, and the energy is going. But before I start and after I stop, it's rough, man. It's really rough. It's hard to sit here. I don't know what to do about it. I take a non-narcotic, anti-inflammatory painkiller, like Nerve Duller. I don't know what it's called. And that helps a little bit, but it's expensive, and I try not to bother my nurse practitioner for it. And also, I don't want to be on that for the rest of my life. Psych meds is one thing, but for a physical ailment, I don't know, I have a lot lower tolerance for that, for physical weakness, than I do mental. Anyways, we'll keep going. I digress. Hockey's great, and I love it. You are a badass. Monday, April 29th. When you're desperate, you're stuck in the worry that the money's not there and that you need to get it, rather than knowing that it's already here and there's no need to get anything. Remember, money is currency and currency is energy. When you switch into gratitude mode and focus on feeling grateful for all you have, and that's and all that's coming your way, even if there isn't any money anywhere in sight at the moment. You strengthen your faith that money will be there for you and align yourself energetically with this belief. And you will start manifesting the very things and opportunities you're grateful for. And again, we've talked about this before, manifest your destiny, right? Believe that it will happen, and it will happen. I know that sounds silly, really utopian, but there was a study. I was listening to This American Life, and they were doing a show on teachers, primarily, I think, white teachers in black school districts, black neighborhoods. And they were talking about a lot of the teachers would lower their standards to accommodate these children because they couldn't learn the material. They weren't succeeding in school. They weren't successful. And teachers decided to change it up and held the kids accountable and raised the bar and said, you can do this. And guess what? The kids did it. They rose to the expectation. And I think that that's manifesting your own destiny. Set the bar and then reach the bar. And I've told you guys a little bit, I think, about the financial fear that I had recently, but I had to let go because, again, I live in a place of gratitude, and that's where I stay. Money does come and go. It's not permanent. Everything is temporary. Money is temporary. Wealth is temporary. Poorness is temporary. As long as you're keeping that energy and working for it. I think that it'll come. We just had a meeting this morning at work, 9 a.m. mandatory work meeting. That's another story. But my boss was telling me that, we're in South Florida. The height of tourism is, probably roughly September to May, Mother's Day. It's usually Labor Day to Mother's Day is our season. So the off season is the summertime, and that's what is approaching. He said that most restaurants in South Florida, between their height of season and the low of summer, the difference in sales is 40% drop in revenues. 40% drop. Could you imagine what that does for a server? That cuts my pay in half, effectively. In half. But you know how fortunate I am? Our restaurant, from our highest high in season last year and our lowest low in summer last year, was only 6%. 6%. 6% is much more manageable. Thank God. Thank God. So I have to remember that, money is a physical thing. It's the energy behind it that matters, Am I going to keep giving out that good energy, that goodwill, manifest my destiny? Yes, I think I will. Because it'll come. As long as I align my will with the universe's, we'll come together and it'll be okay. I got to my back really is bothering me. It was April 29th. What if? So, quote for you. I don't remember who said it, but here's the quote. What if must be the two saddest words in the world. Think about that. What if the two saddest words in the world, right? We have a hard time living in the what ifs. What if that? What if this? What if that happened? What if that didn't happen? It's deadly, I'll tell you. Living just for today relieves the burden of the past and fear of the future. We learn to take whatever actions are necessary and leave the results in the hands of our higher power. In our active addiction, fear of future and what might happen was a reality for many of us. What if we got arrested, lost our job, our spouse passed, we went bankrupt, and on and on and on. It was not unusual for us to spend hours, even whole days, thinking about what might happen. We played out entire conversations and scenarios before they ever occurred, then charted our course on the basis of what if. By doing this, we set ourselves up for disappointment after disappointment. From listening in meetings, we learned that living in the present, not the world of what ifs, is the only way to short circuit our self-fulfilling prophecies of doom and gloom. We can only deal with what is real today, not our fearful fantasies of the future. Coming to believe my God has only the best in store for me is one way that I can combat that fear. We hear in meetings that our higher power won't give us more than we can handle in one day. We know from experience that if we ask, the God we've come to understand will surely care for us. We stay clean through adverse situations by practicing our faith in the care of a power greater than ourselves. Each time we do, we become less fearful of what if and more comfortable with what is. Just for today, I look forward to the future with faith in my God. That's a good one, you know, and that ties in again to our you are a badass. About staying in the present, focusing on what you do have today, you know, not what you might or might not have tomorrow. So all we have is today. All we have is today. And I trust that it's going to work out one way or another. It may not be the way I like it to work out, but it's going to work itself out. My back, on the other hand, that's going to take a little more effort on my part, I think. I need to find a good back exercise, maybe back strengthening exercise. And I'm sure it all comes down to my core. I got a weak core. I blame it on the cookies and the ice cream. I can't help it. I love them. I think crunches would help. Sit-ups. Not the most exciting, but they may be helpful. Anyways, I'm gonna figure it out and go to bed. Love you guys.